What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So I got several things for you guys in this video, including some major announcements from President Donald Trump and details here on the $5,000 Trump stimulus checks 2025 or the DOGE refund checks for millions of Americans. We'll go over the details here in this video. This comes here as my previous video. If you didn't see that here from yesterday, I'll link you guys to that here later in the video, where the Republicans passed their budget resolution here yesterday, which was very, very big news in the House of Representatives. So this is very, very big news here going on here right now. I'm going to go over the details here in this video. So there's a lot of information here going on. If you guys haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, you need to do so now. It's completely free to do so. Just click the subscribe button, then the bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. I'm going to be keeping you up to date here with everything going on here on a daily basis. It's completely free to do so, and also help us reach 500,000 subscribers. There is a lot going on here with Trump in 2025. So many different changes here on a daily basis. I'm going to catch you up to date here right now. So we are live right now here. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We have people tuning in here from all around the globe. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country here in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Here we go. All right, so Trump made some major announcements here today. I'm going to let you hear some details of it here, and then I'll come back to you here in a moment. Take a listen here.
So Josh Holmes is with us, host of the Ruthless Podcast, former Mitch McConnell Chief of Staff. And Josh, good morning to you. I got some breaking news going to pop you with right now. True Social a moment ago, President's talking about cracking down on fentanyl. Here is part of what he said. We cannot allow this scourge to continue to harm the USA, and therefore, until it stops or seriously limited, the proposed tariffs scheduled to go into effect on March 4th will indeed go into effect. China will likewise be charged an additional 10% tariff on that date. The April 2nd reciprocal tariff date will remain in full force and effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. God bless America. So he's back on that. And just a quick comment before we move back to Musk. Josh.
Yeah, look, I thought this was one of the most important things that came out in those initial executive orders, the initial discussion of tariffs. You know, typically we think about this in an economic-only context, in a trade policy context, but each one of the fact sheets that the White House put out in January specifically outlined a section on fentanyl. This administration is taking that extraordinarily seriously. They know that we could get better help from our partners around the world, and I think that this is the next iteration of that.
Okay, so Trump says that Mexico and Canada tariffs will start on March 4th. This is a 25% tariff on anything coming from Mexico and Canada. This includes car parts or anything coming from Mexico and Canada, plus an additional 10% on China. This will be a 20% tariff on China. This includes, on top of the previous China tariffs that he had back from his previous administration. So this means anything imported from China is now going to cost 20% more almost immediately, okay? And remember, there is a lot of stuff that is imported from China. And if you include China, Mexico, and Canada, that's a lot. Now, in addition to this, Trump says that 25% tariffs on the EU, the European Union, basically all of Europe, will be announced here soon. 25% increase on anything coming here from that. So when you account for 25% tariffs on anything coming from Europe, 25% cost increase for any product coming from Mexico, Canada, and now a 20% increase from anything coming from China, we are going to see instant inflation from anything coming from almost anywhere overseas, not made in the United States. Now, what does this mean? Well, we're going to see 20 to 25% inflation almost instantly on a vast majority of products when you go down the aisle and go shopping. This is just what's going to happen. Maybe this is why Trump and Elon Musk are offering their $5,000 stimulus checks to offset and what Trump has said might be what were the words that he said? I don't have them right in front of me, but he said here, I just brought it up, so we have the exact words. Trump says Americans could feel some pain from tariffs as he threatens some more import taxes. This was like a week or two ago. So now this is maybe why he's going to be implementing these Trump stimulus checks for 2025 or these DOGE refund checks to maybe offset the pain that is going to be coming from these tariffs of 20 to 25% inflation. Remember, people were complaining about the Biden inflation, or what people will call the Biden inflation. That wasn't anywhere near 20 to 25% inflation. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this, because this is coming, and it's coming here soon. The EU imports are going to be coming soon, and the Mexico-Canada tariffs of 25% start on March 4th, and an additional 10% on China, which will be a total of 20% new tariffs starting on March 4th as well. And that goes on top of the previous tariffs that he implemented on China, which raised prices as well back from his previous administration, which led to inflation as well, that I don't think a lot of people realized. We're starting to see some headlines here that Trump's threatened 25% tariffs on EU imports could trigger economic turmoil. And you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think? I'll tell you what President Donald Trump says, and some positive things we're seeing from this as well. Democrats are slamming this, saying, quote, Trump is driving the U.S. economy straight into a wall. What do you guys think? Senator Ron Wyden, ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee, says tariffs on neighboring countries will be felt by Americans and called it a betrayal to Trump voters. What do you think? What do you think? Now, President Donald Trump posted this on Instagram. You guys, by the way, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, and TikTok. My handle there is It's Jimmy Show. I'll have a link down for you guys below in the description as well. The U.S. just got commitments for a $14 billion bid from Nippon Steel, $20 billion commitment from Hussein Sajwani, $500 billion commitment from Apple, $500 billion from Stargate, and $600 billion from Saudi Arabia. Trump posted this. Apple announced $500 billion investment in the U.S. amid tariff threats that could affect the iPhone as they try to get away from some of those tariffs and build a new server factory in Texas, which I believe the factory was set to go in Mexico, and instead they're going to build the factory in Texas and will hire 20,000 people in Texas instead of Mexico. So, is this good news? Obviously, this is good news in the fact that 20,000 people in Texas will get jobs. Some people said, though, will this lead to higher Apple prices? Maybe, because obviously people in Texas are going to be making, I don't know, what are their wages going to be? $25 an hour, $30 an hour? Obviously a lot higher than they would have to pay wages for it to people living in Mexico. So will that make Apple prices higher? I don't know. You guys can let me know your thoughts on that here in the comment. Will this lead to higher Apple prices? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But this is obviously creating more jobs in the United States, which is a good thing. So you have some pros and some cons to this stuff. Now, these DOGE dividend checks, or these Trump stimulus checks for 2025 will be needed to help offset some of these costs, which a lot of people are looking forward to. Trump backs the idea to send these checks, these refund checks, to Americans as to help offset these tariffs, as well as these soaring grocery prices here as well. As egg prices soar, the U.S. is actually looking to import eggs from other countries. I seen this here today and I was like, wow, is this even feasible? Eggs are, very, first of all, fragile. And also, the shelf life on eggs isn't even, that long. And the cost of importing eggs, are we even going to save money importing eggs? And then the shelf life of eggs, and then the fragility of eggs. But this is literally what's here in the news today. The Agriculture Department is looking to import eggs as egg prices are soaring. And the United States is in talks with several countries in an effort to immediately secure new egg supplies. Isn't this crazy? As egg prices reach record highs, the federal government is looking to import more eggs from other countries and increase funding for efforts to combat the spread of avian flu, the Agriculture Department said on Wednesday. This is wild. And the department will provide up to $1 billion in additional funding to do this. Which is wild to me. Is this what we have to do to lower grocery prices? And you see other stories here from Western Massachusetts News. Rising food prices is putting a pinch on local restaurants because grocery prices are going up, not just eggs. And everybody is feeling the pinch. Let me know your guys' thoughts here. What are you guys seeing with grocery prices here around your areas? Are we going to see, grocery prices go down here for 2025? She mentioned eggs, that eggs were being $9.60 from her own egg supplier. And her own egg supplier has limited inventory in addition to that. The USDA predicts that it isn't going to change anytime soon and says egg prices will increase 41% in 2025. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good thing. And I think that's obviously all these different reasons are why, Trump and Elon Musk are, maybe looking to provide these $5,000 DOGE stimulus checks or these Trump stimulus checks for 2025 because, to help the people in need. Obviously, Donald Trump and Elon Musk don't need them personally as they're both billionaires. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this. Trump backs Elon Musk's proposal to return billions of dollars in DOGE savings to taxpayers because, quote, the numbers are incredible. And just being reported here today, DOGE stimulus checks get boost from Democrats. And Republicans and Donald Trump are going to like seeing news like this because this is politically popular for Donald Trump, who has floated several times that he would actually potentially run for a third presidency, even though it's not permitted by the Constitution right now, but they could amend the Constitution potentially, and there's actually been a bill floated in Congress to do this. So don't put it past this. And there's also been talks about some of his family members running if Trump doesn't as well. So keep this in mind. Yeah. So Elon Musk's proposal to provide Americans with dividend checks financed by a share of the savings generated by the Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, has garnered widespread public support, new polling finds. A recent survey of over 1,000 registered voters found that 67% of Americans support DOGE providing a one-time $5,000 stimulus check funded by the department's cost-saving efforts. 67%. Within this majority, 46% they strongly supported the idea, and 21% said they somewhat supported the idea. Only 12% said they opposed it. And this is why, I think President Donald Trump wants to do something like this, because it's very, very popular. This survey, which was just conducted by JL Partners, also revealed strong cross-party support. 79% of Republicans and 60% of Democrats supported it. Additionally, 24% of Democrats and 29% of independents said receiving the check would make them more likely to vote for a Republican congressional candidate. Wow, imagine that. Imagine that. Why it matters. Although DOGE's overall approval ratings are mixed, the proposed dividend checks, if implemented, significantly increase public support for the non-governmental department. Yeah, and it's even questionable if this is a non-governmental department, right? Yeah, the surge in backing would provide it with substantial political capital to advance its stated mission of combating fraud, waste, and abuse within the federal government. As the figures on bipartisan support for checks suggest, these could also provide a much-needed boost for the White House and legislative momentum for congressional Republicans currently operating within some of the narrowest majorities in both chambers in recent history. Also here, remember, I'll link you to that video here in a moment, that Republicans just passed in the House of Representatives part of their major Trump agenda here. And I'll link you to that video here in a moment. You definitely need to watch that video next if you haven't there, because they're moving very quickly with the reconciliation process, and they can pass bills completely on their own with anything they want in these bills without any Democratic votes at all. And that's how they passed the 2016 Trump tax cuts, the Republicans did. And the Democrats passed the $1,400 stimulus checks without any, underneath Biden, without any Republican votes. That's when the Democrats controlled Congress, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So when you control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, you can pass a lot of things in these bills with and without any votes on the other side. Yeah, so I'll link you to that video here in a moment. Also, I want to remind you here, I've been getting a lot of people thanking me for introducing them to Chapter Medicare. I'll put a link, a phone number here, and a link down below in the comments section, because a lot of people have been saving a lot of money and actually getting more money benefits or extra benefits because there's 2025 changes to Medicare, and they've actually been switching plans. They were already on a Medicare plan or a Medicare Advantage plan, Medicare Part D plan, and I said, hey, just call them up or click the link down below, or even if you have a loved one, share this video with them and call them up and see if you can get a better plan and switch plans. You can talk to them completely for free. And a lot of people are like, hey, that was really worth it because now I was on a plan that wasn't nearly as good for me, and I've talked to Chapter Medicare for free. Now I've switched plans and I'm on a much better plan, and it's saving me a lot of money, or I actually have better benefits for the same amount, and it was really worthwhile. So I'll put a phone number here on the screen and a link down below so you can check them out. Okay, so do that if you haven't yet. Here is a link to the video for the bill the Republicans just passed and advanced. Click on that if you haven't yet. Or click here to see the $1,700.50 stimulus check that just passed, which is a different check. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet so you don't miss out. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.